Do you think we need crypto-specific tax rules, or do we need clarity about how crypto is dealt with under the existing rules?
We don't need specific rules. We don't need Division 420 that does crypto tax, which is what I suggested. But what we do need are some adjustments because the system, CGT system, income tax system, it's built to be relatively industry agnostic. So we don't have like a property tax regime. We don't have or we do in states, but I mean federally, we don't have a property tax regime. We don't have a share tax regime. We don't have many specific rules about dividends. We have some to make it all work, but it all goes into the bucket of income or capital gains, really. And that's all we have to do is just make a few adjustments to make it make sense. And one of the proposals that we've put to government recently was alongside Blockchain Australia about a separate CGT event for smart contract usage, and essentially using a smart contract, unless it changes the economic ownership of what you've got materially, you should just ignore it for tax purposes. Because right now it's like such a hot button issue, and that adjustment would solve like a good amount of problems. And if anybody's calling for reams and reams of legislation, that's usually a bad thing in tax world. It's long enough already.
The smart contract integration piece is an important one because that impacts staking, right? And
Yeah.
I mean, not just staking, but staking is a
Staking's
big one.
a big one.
Yeah, like you stake something, and my understanding is that if you stake a token in a smart contract now, it's considered a disposal, and then if what you get back, even if it's the same token, is a new acquisition. Is that right?
That's the ATO view. I think it's dead wrong, but that's what the ATO have published. And, I'm always very careful when I talk to clients about, if you're going to go against the ATO view, then you need to know what comes with that. It shows a lot of misunderstanding of what's actually going on because CGT regime was meant to tax realized gains. We've got these problems right now with governments trying to tax unrealized gains in superannuation, and it's got people very upset. And that's what's happening here with smart contracts. If I'm staking it, it's not really an economic realization. It's just turning on a dividend switch on a share that was otherwise off. It's just inappropriate, and that's what I've been saying. You've been using that word for a very long time. It's just inappropriate. We're not going to get concessional tax on crypto in Australia, but right now the system makes it much harsher because it has no regard for it. So it's just, let's make it fair.
To put things into perspective, I mean, there are countries in the world that don't tax crypto at all. I believe Germany is one of them.
Yeah, Germany's got I think if you hold it for quite a period, it's exempt. But if you do active stuff, then it's just taxable as income. It's relatively clear.
Yeah, so there are a variety of approaches that we could take here. I'm always in favor of a light touch, right?
Yeah.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. And I think a lot of people in the legal community are probably guilty of trying to promote a full overhaul of the legal system just to accommodate crypto. And I don't think that's the right approach, whether it's tax or otherwise. Our laws work perfectly fine. We certainly don't need more laws in general. That's the problem with laws, right? We only ever get more of them.
Adding more. You sound like Kerry Packer, David. We tried to reform the tax law, and in the mid 90s, we got halfway through, ran out of money, and that's why we've got 2 tax acts. We already tried it, and it was difficult and time consuming and very, very complicated. And I think that sort of scarred a few politicians. And, we haven't had any significant tax reform since the GST in this country. And there is no talk of doing it anytime soon. So, look, it's certainly broke in certain bits, but, it is kind of taped together and it works. And adding more to it, I'm against that as well. It's those adjustments that's really all it needs. Like a chiropractor, just a couple of kinks, crack a few bones, and then we'll solve 90% of the problems.
Yeah.
That's all. That's the best we can do, I think.